Hello, welcome Team Nishani.
Hi,
Hi.
thank you.
Congratulations on making it to the Forbes 30 under 30 list. You come from a family that has been manufacturing jewelry for over 3 decades. Did you always want to be a part of the jewelry industry, or was it something that happened along the way?
Thank you. Being considered by Forbes is a great achievement. And yeah, I think I always wanted to be a part of this industry because I have grown up around this environment. I always went for meetings with my parents. I used to come to our factory on Saturdays or like during summer breaks. So I don't think there was ever an option that if I want to join I just sort of naturally gravitated towards this. So yeah, I think I always wanted to be a part of this industry and do something of my own in the jewelry world.
Okay, what prompted you to start Nishani Studio? How long did it take for you to set up the brand from ideation to reality?
Yes, I think that her journey started for her brand dream when she was 15 years old. She came to the factory and she created a collection. She created a website. She created the packaging, everything for her own brand. And worked with the designers, had all the jewelry made. And so it started then, 15 years old. And I think that experience really gave her an understanding of this whole world and how it, at least an insight into how it works. And I think it really influenced where she went to college and what she chose to major in.
Yeah, I think it was always a dream, and because I used to talk so much about having my own brand one day, my mom also started seeing this dream with me. So I think she little bit nudged me into that direction that I should go to New York, I should study in that city, be around all these big brands and see that entire culture. So that definitely helped me a lot, and I think it was at NYU when I realized that this is what I really want to do once I've moved back. So technically I moved back 2023 December, and that's when we started working on Nishani and coming up with ideas, trying to get samples made and everything. Yeah.
Could you please tell us how you arrived at the name?
That's a funny story. We actually were just thinking of what we should name it because all we knew was that it had to be a part of both of us, like it had to have significance to the both of us. So we initially thought, let's combine our names and come up with a name, but then we couldn't come up with anything because I think you were trying to look for like an English,
English, yeah.
an English meaning, and I was trying to look for a Hindi meaning. And since my name is Indian and hers is American, we couldn't really come up with a word. So then we were just scribbling on paper. I think you were trying to write like meanings and
Right, of what we wanted the brand to mean. Because I think that that connection of the brand name and the meaning is very important.
yeah. So then just one day I was just scribbling and I wrote her last name, my first name, and then we came up with Nishani. And I think that moment itself, we knew that this was the right fit for our
Yeah.
brand.
Because also the meaning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
So
means
everything
like
came
leaving,
together.
yeah,
Yeah.
leaving a mark, and that's what we wanted to do with our brand.
Okay, that's great. What prompted you to introduce such high level of customization where every lock and chain can be picked up by the customer? What other customizations can the customer expect from Nishani in the near future?
So I think what we realized before starting this brand was that jewelry was very stagnant, and clothing and other fashion industries were evolving much quicker than fashion jewelry. So I think
It wasn't just realizing, it was just knowing ourselves that you've got 5 necklaces that have to go on 100 different outfits. So.
yeah. And like we would buy clothes for different occasions, but then we would have to wear that same old jewelry again and again. And also customization, I feel like, is very important for the younger generation because it adds meaning, it adds more value.
Yeah.
So we wanted to create something that like would go with everything. You could change the look of it and wear it for different occasions.
Mm-hmm. Plus, okay, so the customization part, I think that over the almost 40 years of manufacturing jewelry for jewelry brands, we've created or learned a lot of nice techniques and whatnot. And I think I encouraged her that she should start by understanding our capabilities, introducing that into her collections.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, that's great. Why did you pick the gold plated silver segment, vice versa, gold, or the fashion segment for your brand?
I think like because I personally feel like we wanted to give something that was more sustainable, also a bit more realistic for the younger generation to buy. Gold is getting so expensive that we can't really keep on buying new things every time we want to, wear new designs. So silver was a good in between sort of a metal, which is sustainable, which also has good value,
Mhm.
and at the same time you can still keep on buying new things and adding to your collections every time.
Yeah, it's a precious metal too.
Yeah,
So their value, it retains a value. So
yeah,
you can make an investment in silver as well.
yeah. And then brass on the other hand is more cheap, and it doesn't, you can't really take care of it for a long period of time. Like over time it doesn't, like it'll start to wear off. So I guess that's why we stuck to silver and gold plated.
And who is your ideal target audience?
Our target audience, I would say, is primarily people in the age group of 18 to 40. But more importantly, we are trying to focus on women who are more fashion forward, who value sustainability, who are also looking to create their own mark with the jewelry that they wear. So yeah, definitely someone who's more conscious of what they're wearing, what they're buying, what the story behind the brand is. Yeah.
Okay, could you take us through the thoughts behind your Women's Day collection?
I think that what I really liked about her piece is they're like the bracelet she's wearing. It says "I'm a boss," so it's the empowerment of women to believe that they can achieve and to proudly wear it and show it to the world.
Yeah, it's a very bold collection. It's a very small collection, but at the same time, it's very meaningful because we are trying to encourage women, empower them, and yeah, it's a very bold.
Okay, does the company go out of the way to create opportunities for women?
Yes.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah. Well, it was actually my dream from 1986 that I'll come to India and employ women. But it took a long time because women were not really in the workforce at that time. They were mostly housewives. So in the last maybe 10 years, we've really put our efforts into bringing women into our company, actually training them on in jobs that were traditionally only for men. And it's been very successful. Some of our factories now have a percentage of women that are almost,
Maybe like 25.
average across all our factories is 25%, but some of our factories are higher than that,
Yeah.
which I'm really proud about.
Yeah. And like another surprising thing is that jewelry is a very feminine product, but still the industry is so male
Male
dominant.
orient, yeah.
So I think that's one thing that we always wanted to change. And similarly for Nishani, we definitely prefer working with women because we feel like women understand what other women want better than men.
And how do you plan to grow the brand in the next 5 years?
So our short-term plan, I would say, is to make Nishani an omni-channel brand first. I think we'll be doing a lot of exhibitions. We are also doing a pop-up in Bombay. So yeah, trying to get some physical presence out there, trying to get to know our customers personally is our next plan.